Courtrooms can be pretty gloomy and dark for all people involved. Justice under democracy is a mandate for all. However, delay in the same leads to an indirect injustice to the extent that people lose faith in the system altogether. Sometimes the crimes are so brutal, shocking, and bone-chilling that it is almost impossible for people and victims to wait for the justice system to catch up. So what do? They take things into their own hands. As they take matters into their own hands, it can lead to often dramatic scenes in courtrooms for the world to see. Victims' relatives can often be seen cussing at defendants, or even trying to attack them in moments of rage, anger, and vengeance. In this video, today, we will list 6 such defendants who were attacked in the courtroom while they were in the midst of the trial. So watch this till the end. Number 6. This is Tristan Lamarelle. He pleaded guilty to shooting and killing his wife. At the sentencing, the brother of the murdered victim comes up to give a victim impact statement. While reading the statement, he made straight eye contact with the defendant, Tristan Lamarelle. And before anyone could know, the brother immediately rushes to the bench where Tristan is sitting and decides to throw a punch at him. The police immediately restrained the brother and removed him from the courtroom. According to reports, he was later released without any charges. Tristan Lamarelle was later sentenced to 15 years of his life in prison. Number 5. This is Dale Williams. He is now being sentenced after confessing to running his ex-girlfriend off the road and then fatally shooting her. She was a mother, and her 2 sons were in the courtroom while he made the confession. What you see in the clip is the 30-year-old Anthony D. sliding off the table and 23-year-old Jerome Stewart going around. And in this frame, Anthony has Williams by his leg. After Dale Williams' first sentencing was postponed, he was later sentenced to 23 years of imprisonment. For the 2 sons, the judge sentenced them to serve 30 days in jail for assault, contempt of court, and obstructing official procedures. Number 4. This is Michael Madison, who is a now convicted serial killer from East Cleveland, Ohio. He is known to have committed at least 3 murders, all of whom were women. During his sentencing hearing, Van Terry took the stand to deliver a victim impact statement to the man who tortured and murdered his 18-year-old daughter. The father says that he feels a sense of shock that he must forgive the man who killed his daughter because of his father's religious beliefs. During this time, Van Terry looked at Michael Madison, who reportedly gave him a sly smile. This enraged Terry, and he lunged at Michael to attack him. Afterward, Van Terry was released without charges in 2016. Madison was sentenced to death. He's currently being held on death row. Number 3. This is Jason Howard, and he's currently in a courthouse for being involved in a murder. 5 months earlier, his ex-girlfriend and 3 children were found dead in their home. Howard was the only person of interest, and during an interview, he claimed he was innocent. Jason Howard says in a moment of regret that he should have been there and could not be there for his family, his ex-girlfriend, and her kids.
Protector and a provider for my family, but I wasn't there to protect her.
But remember, he is in court for a completely different murder, and the quadruple homicide of his ex-girlfriend and children is still unsolved. But the ex-girlfriend's family believed he was responsible for their deaths. The brother of the dead ex-girlfriend plunged over him in the courtroom. The cousin of the victim now jumps in as well. The court charged the brother and cousin with assault. Jason Howard was also sentenced to 44 years of imprisonment for the unrelated murder. He has not been charged with killing his ex-girlfriend and her children. In fact, no one has been charged for the quadruple homicide, that too without a lot of proof. To this day, the mystery remains unsolved. Number 2. This is Larry Nassar. He's an American, convicted sex offender, and former osteopathic physician. For 18 years, he was a team doctor for the United States Women's National Gymnastics team, allowing him to be close to hundreds of girls and young women he abused. One of the female victims of Larry Nassar's sexual assault speaks out about how she is deeply saddened and shocked to see what happened to her and her sisters because of Larry Nassar. She tells the court that she can never forgive him for what he did, and that she deeply trusted Larry because she has known her for years. And soon after, the father of a victim jumped in to attack Larry. Although he was soon restrained by the police and then handcuffed and taken out of the courtroom. He still abused Larry Nassar verbally out of his anger.
Give me 1 minute with that.
Larry was sentenced to life imprisonment for various charges to be served after a 60-year sentence. That means he'll effectively serve at least 100 years in prison, a life sentence. On the other hand, the father won't face any criminal charges, though the police detained him for a while. Number 1. This is Clifford Thomas. Clifford is the boyfriend of the mother, whose 3-year-old child died from multiple blunt force injuries. The mother and the boyfriend were in the court together. The death of the child was later ruled a homicide. During the sentencing, the child's biological father, Dwayne Smith, was getting ready to give a victim impact statement to the man responsible for his daughter's death. As soon as he started speaking, he suddenly stopped and lunged to fight the defendant, Thomas, inside the courtroom. As police swarmed in on both of them and separated them from the scene, both parties were not ready to give up and were throwing cuss words at each other. Thomas was sentenced to 57 months to 15 years of imprisonment for involuntary manslaughter and 1 to 2 years for resisting and obstructing a police officer. Gordon was sentenced to 7 years to 15 years for involuntary manslaughter and 14 years to 25 years for first-degree child abuse. As for Dwayne Smith, the judge refused to hold him in contempt of court and was therefore spared for his acts. The criminal justice system has shortcomings, even though it was created to enforce the law and guarantee that justice is done. Perhaps people's confidence in the system has decreased due to several instances of erroneous convictions, police brutality, and corruption. The courts have earned a bad reputation among many people as a place where the guilty get away with crimes, while the innocent are punished. When justice is not served, the repercussions can be disastrous for society as a whole, the victims, and their families. It's understandable why so many people have lost hope in the legal system and have become weary of the concept of justice in general. Of course, that also greatly depends on the country we speak about and the legal system they follow. Nonetheless, despite the shortcomings, some people continue to advocate for change, demand responsibility, and work towards a system, while the others hold high regards toward the courts. These are some of the moments that show a shocking turn of events where defendants were attacked inside the court during their trials. While these may seem dramatic or a display of uncontrolled anger, we must remember that these defendants have been convicted and sentenced to various prison sentences and, in many cases, even sentenced to death for the heinous crimes they committed. Some of these crimes have left deep mental scars on the victims' families and society as a whole. Shockingly, many of the perpetrators showed no remorse for what they did. They either see these events as routine as stealing or pickpocketing, or they simply do not care about the emotional, psychological, and mental pain they have caused people through their actions. These criminals can be considered beyond repair and deserve all the harsh punishments they are being given. In fact, many people would see criminals like these as deserving of the death penalty instead of life imprisonment or other long prison sentences. Criminals like Tristan Lamarelle, Clifford Thomas, and Larry Nassar actively threaten society. When victims' families try to attack them in court, many people opine that they deserve this treatment. What is your take on it? Do these criminals deserve a chance apart from those provided by the court under the principles of natural justice? Is sympathy a word these criminals deserve to be showered with? There will be many more such questions waiting to be answered on this channel, and if someone needs to bring some decisions to the table about it, that is us. So do let your opinions be public, and if you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe for more such videos. Do not forget to press the bell icon to never miss any interesting videos we upload. That is all for this video. We will see you in the next one with more such shocking, curiosity-inducing, and thrilling videos.